Środkiem budowania biznesu z tego względu, że jest bardzo dobra współpraca między uczelniami.
Symbolem naszego miasta jest pomnik, który bardzo mocno kojarzy się z kobiecością, dlatego nie wyobrażam sobie innego miasta na tworzenie kobiecego biznesu i kobiecej marki, jak właśnie Rzeszów.
Zajmujemy się serwisowaniem silników turbowentylatorowych, czyli silników GTF. Lokalizacja MRO w Rzeszowie, w Dolinie Lotniczej, wynika z faktu, że jest to region z ogromnymi tradycjami właśnie w tej branży lotniczej.
Selveco to polski producent kosmetyków naturalnych. Pierwsza tego typu firma w naszym regionie, a aktualnie jedna z bardziej rozpoznawalnych w branży kosmetyków naturalnych. Tutaj zaczęła się cała nasza historia. Z małej rodzinnej manufaktury ze Stobiernej pod Rzeszowem rozwinęliśmy się do dużej, rozpoznawalnej firmy.
Grupa Fibrain to już blisko 10 firm. Sprzedajemy nasze produkty do 70 krajów całego świata. Główna spółka Fibrain zajmuje się produkcją rozwiązań światłowodowych do budowy sieci światłowodowych. Są to kompletne rozwiązania, głównie instalowane przez operatorów internetowych. Kilku lat objęliśmy patronatem klub sportowy Stal Rzeszów, głównie poprzez wychowanie dzieci poprzez sport. Stal Rzeszów jest to szeroki projekt, bo nie jest to tylko klub, jest to bardzo mocna akademia.
Firma ML System założona w 2007 roku w Budziwoju, wtedy jeszcze w podrzeszowskim Budziwoju, dzisiaj już w Rzeszowie, w garażu. W tej chwili duży zakład produkcyjny, 20 000 m2. Produkujemy super nowoczesne moduły fotowoltaiczne. Wprowadzamy na rynek szyby, które dają prąd, szyby z powłokami kwantowymi. W zakresie BIPV jesteśmy jedną z 5 największych firm na świecie.
Firma Vis-a-vis w tym roku kończy 20 lat. Jest to marka modowa tworzona dla kobiet, przez kobiety. Mamy 12 sklepów w całej Polsce oraz sklep internetowy. Tworzymy tu na miejscu w Rzeszowie.
W Rzeszowie podoba nam się wiele rzeczy. W Rzeszowie podoba nam się infrastruktura, ponieważ Rzeszów jest dobrze skomunikowany. Deloitte w Rzeszowie powstało jako wewnętrzne centrum wspierające procesy biznesowe w ramach struktury Deloitte w regionie środkowo-wschodnim. Podstawowymi obszarami w zakresie procesów, które podjęło nasze centrum, to jest obszar tradycyjny finansów, natomiast również jest to obszar audytu, zarządzania ryzykiem czy obszar IT.
BorgWarner zajmuje się produkcją komponentów i podzespołów do samochodów osobowych, ciężarowych oraz tzw. aftermarket. Produkowane przez nas produkty znajdziemy
jeszcze przez wiele, wiele lat.
Dostęp do wysoko wykwalifikowanej kadry, bardzo dobre położenie na przecięciu tras S19, A4, dostęp do lotniska.
Rzeszów jest dobrym ośrodkiem budowania biznesu z tego względu, że jest bardzo dobra współpraca między uczelniami.
Symbolem naszego miasta jest pomnik, który bardzo mocno kojarzy się z kobiecością, dlatego nie wyobrażam sobie innego miasta na tworzenie kobiecego biznesu i kobiecej marki, jak właśnie Rzeszów.
Zajmujemy się serwisowaniem silników turbowentylatorowych, czyli silników GT. Lokalizacja MRO w Rzeszowie, w Dolinie Lotniczej, wynika z faktu, że jest to region z ogromnymi tradycjami właśnie w tej branży, w branży lotniczej.
Jako to polski producent kosmetyków naturalnych. Pierwsza tego typu firma w naszym regionie, a aktualnie jedna z bardziej rozpoznawalnych w branży kosmetyków naturalnych. Tutaj zaczęła się cała nasza historia. Z małej rodzinnej manufaktury ze Stobiernej pod Rzeszowem rozwinęliśmy się do dużej, rozpoznawalnej firmy.
Grupa Fibrain to już blisko 10 firm. Sprzedajemy nasze produkty do 70 krajów całego świata. Ogólna spółka Fibrain zajmuje się produkcją rozwiązań światłowodowych do budowy sieci światłowodowych. Są to kompletne rozwiązania, głównie instalowane przez operatorów internetowych. Kilku lat objęliśmy patronatem klub sportowy Stal Rzeszów, głównie poprzez wychowanie dzieci poprzez sport. Stal Rzeszów jest to szeroki projekt, bo nie jest to tylko klub, jest to bardzo mocna akademia.
ML System założona w 2007 roku w Budziwoju, wtedy jeszcze w podrzeszowskim Budziwoju, dzisiaj już w Rzeszowie, w garażu. W tej chwili duży zakład produkcyjny, 20 000 metrów kwadratowych. Produkujemy super nowoczesne moduły fotowoltaiczne. Wprowadzamy na rynek szyby, które dają prąd, szyby z powłokami kwantowymi. W zakresie BIPV jesteśmy jedną z 5 największych firm na świecie.
Firma Vizavi w tym roku kończy 20 lat. Jest to marka modowa tworzona dla kobiet przez kobiety. Mamy 12 sklepów w całej Polsce oraz sklep internetowy. Tworzymy tu na miejscu w Rzeszowie.
W Rzeszowie podoba nam się wiele rzeczy. W Rzeszowie podoba nam się infrastruktura, ponieważ Rzeszów jest dobrze skomunikowany. Deloitte w Rzeszowie powstało jako wewnętrzne centrum wspierające procesy biznesowe w ramach struktury Deloitte w regionie środkowo-wschodnim. Podstawowymi obszarami w zakresie procesów, które podjęło nasze centrum, to jest obszar tradycyjny finansów, natomiast również jest to obszar audytu, zarządzania ryzykiem czy obszar IT.
Formonet zajmuje się produkcją komponentów i podzespołów do samochodów osobowych, ciężarowych oraz tak zwany aftermarket. Produkowane przez nas produkty znajdziemy w niemal wszystkich markach samochodów na całym świecie. Jednym z kluczowych powodów, dlaczego nasza fabryka znajduje się w tym miejscu, to, że znajduje się blisko Międzynarodowego Portu Lotniczego oraz blisko stolicy innowacji miasta Rzeszów.
Po filmie włączałem prezentację, przygotowujemy jeszcze o tym. 10 do 5 sekund. Idź tam powiedz, żeby już zmieniony tutaj filmem. Puść film teraz, ale na początku. Możesz mi mail Rzeszów, jak masz.
Na świecie wprowadzamy tego typu produkt do seryjnej produkcji.
Każdy Dreamliner latał z silnikami APU wyprodukowanymi właśnie tutaj, w Rzeszowie.
Można śmiało powiedzieć, że to jest około kilku milionów ludzi.
Kolekcję projektuje 3 osoby. Ja też jestem częścią tego zespołu, bo to jest ulubiona część mojej pracy. Produkujemy huby USB
ładowarki indukcyjne, mikrofony, piloty oraz boksy sterujące różnymi funkcjami w samochodzie. Daimler, BMW, Volkswagen, Porsche, Bentley.
Tutaj widać szybę. Z pozoru zwykła szyba, przeźroczysta, ale tak naprawdę ona w środku jest bardziej skomplikowana. Ma w sobie wiele warstw, które z jednej strony zatrzymują ciepło wpadające do środka w lecie, zatrzymują zimno wyciekające zimę z budynku, ale przede wszystkim produkują prąd. Widać tu w tej chwili napięcie i prąd, które ta szyba generuje, nawet ze sztucznego oświetlenia. Do takiej szyby nie ma znaczenia kąt padania światła.
To jest serce firmy. W tym miejscu powstają nasze projekty. W tym miejscu dobieramy tkaniny, rysujemy wzory, robimy prototypy, konstrukcje, przymiarki. Także to jest clue naszej działalności.
Tradycja biznesu lotniczego w tym miejscu, w centrum Rzeszowa, sięga ponad 80 lat. Pragan Whitney Rzeszów oraz Pragan Whitney Aeropower Rzeszów zatrudniają łącznie niemal 4000 pracowników i produkują silniki lotnicze napędzające najnowocześniejsze samoloty na świecie. Obie firmy należą do Stowarzyszenia Dolina Lotnicza, orzeszającego największe firmy lotnicze z regionu Podkarpacia.
Jesteśmy głównym dostawcą silników APS 5000 dla Boeinga 787 Dreamliner, który zasila systemy samolotu przed uruchomieniem silników głównych. Pragan Whitney Aeropower Rzeszów produkujemy silniki APU dla największych producentów samolotów komercyjnych, jak i militarnych na świecie, takich jak Airbus, Boeing, Comac, Embraer czy Lockheed Martin.
Naprawiamy i serwisujemy silniki pomocnicze APU dla kilkudziesięciu linii lotniczych z całego świata.
Głównie tutaj w Rzeszowie zajmujemy się bankowością elektroniczną, ale także bankowością systemów transakcyjnych. To są przede wszystkim klienci największego banku w Polsce, PKO BP, to są klienci banków spółdzielczych.
Główna siedziba firmy zlokalizowana jest w Mielcu, w specjalnej strefie ekonomicznej. Centrum badawczo-rozwojowe umieściliśmy w Rzeszowie. W sumie zatrudniamy 2000 pracowników, z tego ponad 5000 to są inżynierowie. Rzeszów i Podkarpacie to miejsca bardzo sprzyjające do prowadzenia działalności gospodarczej. Młodzi ludzie, dobrze wykształceni, chcą mieszkać i pracować w Rzeszowie jako mieście o bardzo wysokiej jakości życia. Stąd nasza decyzja o ulokowaniu Centrum Badawczo-Rozwojowego właśnie w Rzeszowie.
So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the city center of Rzeszów, the most innovative space in the region. Today's conference is Rzeszów Research. I would like the city of Rzeszów, Mr. Konrad Fiorek, to take the floor.
Szanowni Państwo, a szczególnie Panie Prezesie wraz z rodziną i współpracownikami,
Ladies and gentlemen, especially the chairman with his associates and family.
Wszyscy zacni goście, którzy przyjęli nasze zaproszenie.
All the distinguished guests who decided to accept our invitation.
Bardzo dziękujemy za to, że chcieliście się dzisiaj pojawić, bo to, mam nadzieję, bardzo ważny dzień i dla nas, dla miasta i regionu, ale także, a może przede wszystkim dla firm naszego regionu.
Thank you very much for your presence, because today marks a very important day for the companies from the region and from the city and from the region.
Naszym gościom ze Stanów Zjednoczonych mówiłem już przed wejściem, ale Państwo też doskonale wiecie, że od pewnego czasu, a dokładnie prawie od roku, na Rzeszów w świecie i w Europie teraz, że to nowa stolica Europy.
So our guests from the United States already know, because we told them, you probably it's true that Rzeszów is titled the new capital of Europe for 7 months.
Oczywiście za sprawą rzeczy tragicznej, jaka jest wojna na Ukrainie, ale też wszystkich geopolitycznych zmian z tym związanych.
This results from a very tragic situation, which is the war that is ongoing in Ukraine, but it is also a result of what's going on because of the war.
Te zmiany geopolityczne oznaczają, że rzeczywiście jesteśmy tą stolicą w cudzysłowie, ale na pewno jesteśmy i będziemy na wiele lat do przodu bardzo ważnym miastem i regionem, który stanie się bardzo ważnym hubem transportowym dla Europy i świata.
These geopolitical changes that are going on right now mean that we are ready to even transportation of
Za sprawą, mam nadzieję, za chwilę zakończonej wojny w Ukrainie i odbudowy wielkich procesów gospodarczych, które z tym się będą wiązać.
this will be connected with I hope the whole economic processes of the Ukraine after the war.
Zatem to także zmieniło, jak powiedzieliśmy, pozycję naszego miasta i już dziś ruch towarowy, ruch cargo, oczywiście w dużej mierze także związany z militariami, ale nie tylko, znacznie wzrósł na naszym lotnisku i na naszych drogach.
This has already changed the position where Rzeszów stands. This is because of the fact that the air cargo movement has risen and has been rising for several months. This is connected to the movement, but it will soon change.
Oznaczać będzie znaczący wzrost ilości połączeń i w ogóle transportu lotniczych z naszego lotniska.
This will rise in the number of routes from our.
Dlatego to doskonała okazja, myślę, także przede wszystkim dla naszych firm, które dzisiaj tutaj gościmy, do tego, żeby w trakcie rozwoju, który na pewno Państwa będzie w związku z tym także i czekał, jest szansa na to, żeby korzystać z tego, co chce zaproponować i chcą nam zaproponować nasi goście.
So I think it's a great opportunity for our companies that will soon grow because of the situation that's going on. And so the opportunity to take a chance that is given our guests today.
Dlatego chciałbym bardzo serdecznie podziękować panu Krzysztofowi Alfowi, prezesowi, szefowi firmy National za tą otwartość i za przybycie osobiste do nas.
So I would like to express my gratitude to the CEO of National Cargo, Krzysztof Alf, for his openness to cooperation and coming here in person.
To dla nas bardzo ważny gest i odczytujemy to jako ogromną szansę, jak powiedziałem.
This is a very important gesture for us and we see that as a great opportunity.
Zatem jestem głęboko przekonany, że po dzisiejszym pierwszym spotkaniu na temat możliwości, jakie pojawią się w związku z funkcjonowaniem i współpracą z firmą National, będzie dzisiaj ten pierwszy krok, który zaowocuje kolejnymi.
So I'm deeply convinced that because of the opportunities that we see today, this will be our first step to start in the cooperation.
Ale jesteśmy w regionie bardzo dynamicznie gospodarczo się rozwijającym, mimo że kiedyś na rubieżach Europy, a teraz, jak powiedzieliśmy, w centrum naszego kontynentu.
It's worth saying that we are in the region which is very dynamically developing. And in history, it was on the outskirts of Europe, right in the center.
Zatem widzicie Państwo z tyłu także prezentację o naszym mieście w skrócie, ale tam też przewijają się przynajmniej w małej części nazwy firm mniejszych i większych, które świadczą o tym rozwoju gospodarczym.
You can see a short presentation about the city, and in this presentation we have just a glimpse at the companies that are working here and that are creating the whole business development.
Jestem również przekonany, że jest to okazja do tego, żeby współpracować także ponad regionem. Nawet dla tych wszystkich firm, które z naszym lotniskiem za sprawą autostrady, za sprawą L19 są dobrze skomunikowane z tej oferty i możliwości transportu cargo lotniczego będą mogły skorzystać.
I am also deeply convinced that this is an opportunity to strengthen the cooperation, international cooperation, so that the companies that use the motorways or the expressways to come to our to use it. Also, the opportunity that is given by mission.
Zatem mamy w tym potencjał, który na pewno jest w stanie wypełnić Boeing 747.
So we've got the potential that lets us fulfill the capacity of 7% more.
I już mówiliśmy także o tym z panem prezesem, że już wiemy, co to znaczy, bo w zasadzie, co prawda, za sprawą w dużej mierze militarnych transportów, ale w zasadzie codziennie na lotnisku w Rzeszowie widujemy.
It's the CEO that what it's already because of the military movement environment, we tend to see 747 every day.
Teraz wystarczy je tylko jeszcze wypełnić towarami w dobrej cenie i myślę, że to się uda po dzisiejszej konferencji. Dziękuję bardzo.
To is to fulfill them with some goods at a good price, and this will be a success. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Ask us from the presentation.
Slides with those.
Hello, everyone, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for coming to the event today. On behalf of National Air Cargo, our senior management team, as well as on Chris Alf, I would like to thank you for all attending the event today. It's very nice to see some known faces, but especially also a lot of new faces. Therefore, I'm quite happy that the room is filled up. And today we would like to introduce you to our idea, to our vision to develop the Eastern Europe air freight market with a dedicated and solution based on National Air Cargo and National Airlines 747 flying from place, especially the US to Rzeszow, and bring cargo back to the US on our aircraft. The times are very challenging at the moment. We know there's a lot of trouble going around in our neighborhood here, but still we try to continue in the way in our daily life, and especially since we are supporting Ukraine efforts and also European efforts to strengthen the supply chains on all aspects. We are very much interested in receiving your feedback later today, how we can collaborate together as a team in this particular challenging and exciting region. So the plan for today is to learn more about National, to understand the capabilities as well as our mindset. Afterwards, we are kindly inviting you to stay here for a little while to meet us all on a face-to-face level, to have a discussion with us so we can understand and learn more about your requirements, especially in terms of transport and logistics. So we have a quite vast list of attendants here. So I'm happy to have producers and manufacturers here today. We are also inviting our friends from logistics and transport business, as well as also the people from the public authorities. And also especially thank you for having us here and helping us to set up the conference today. All of you that don't know me yet, my name is Tobias. I'm working for National for more than 4 years now. I'm responsible for European business development. I started my career all in all, grew up in air freight industry. So I was handling air freight projects as well as out of the box shipments my whole professional career. 4 years ago, I joined National, and I'm quite excited to have gone through very challenging and very exciting projects already. And today, this is one more example of how we think and how we want to be ahead, providing very dedicated and personalized solutions to this region. The agenda for the presentation today. So the main part is a closer and deep introduction of National for both National Air Cargo as well as National Airlines. We want to
show you our services. We want to give you an example and understanding of our capabilities, because we feel we are not a common company in the logistics and transport field. We are a very special company with a very special mindset and a very special service portfolio. We have an operational strategy which we want to share with you, understanding how we want to start developing the area here and give you all access to new options in the transport market. Also, we have already talked to some strategic partners. We know that no one can change the world alone, so we will team up with everyone who is a strategic partner for us, and therefore there are already some brief information that we can share. Last but not least, since this hopefully will not be a pure monologue from my side, we invite you also to share your questions, your thoughts after the presentation, and latest by the face-to-face discussion in the small groups around the place here. So on behalf of Mr. Alf, I would to welcome you all here in the event. To just give you a small story about his career. So he's an entrepreneur through and through. Started the company 30 years ago, actually traveling with a suitcase behind the forces and providing them with all the goods they need throughout the military missions in the world. So we are a family-owned business, and that is also why we brought Mr. Alf and his family today here in the event. And most of his family is also involved in the company. So we are now not only having him, but also his wife and his son here, Laurie and Crystal. They are also both involved in the company, and you can see that we are really a really family-owned business. He is still involved in the day-to-day actions, especially on the airline side. And it's a quite story and some remarkable stories he can surely share later. But for now, it is important to understand that National is not only a freight forwarder, not only an airline. We are both. So National is basically a freight forwarder owning an in-house airline, and that is why we are quite special in the market, not only providing airport-to-airport capacity with our own assets, but also merging that with our capabilities as a freight forwarder. So creating door-to-door options for companies dedicated with special air freight products and also special multimodal products. So on the freight forwarding side, our USP is the air freight part, but we are also creating that with the tracking solution, storage solution, or other value-added services like packaging or customs clearance. Our focus in the past has always been the military and the aid and relief sector, but throughout the years we have developed ourselves from a niche forwarder now to a global operator. That is especially the case with our airline. So we are quite successful in the last few years, adding more capacity in our fleet, and not only serving the cargo market, but also the passenger market. Our headquarters is in Florida, in Orlando. We have recently had a 30 years anniversary. So we are also a well-established and known company in that market. We have 600 plus employees, growing throughout the years quite significantly. We have an organic fleet of 10 aircraft, which is also very special because our aircrafts are not leased, we own them, and that is quite special in these days. We also have access to all the strategic capacity in the market. So basically from the small Cessna until the big Antonov, we can offer you all the capacity dedicated and personalized to your shipping needs. As already said, we are the hybrid between freight forwarding and airline. So we are trying to merge the benefits with both of them and create unique shipping solutions. We are serving all verticals from
military, to pharma, to commercial, as well as to e-commerce or express cargo. We are also certified in many ways, so we fulfill the highest standards of quality and requirements, working together with global companies as well as companies with strict regulations. So I always say we are trying to play in the Champions League while providing the best quality and also the most professional service. We're also a quite international company, so not only that we are serving the US and Europe in between, particularly this is one of the busiest routes we have, but also you can see that all over the world national is known. So we are also flying to Asia, we are also flying to Europe or Middle East and connecting the dots around the world. Here you can see a small overview of our airline. All of our aircrafts are registered in the US as any registration. We have the IATA code November 8 still. Some of you might not have seen the aircraft yet, but since we have operated about 250 flights last year to Rzeszow, the possibility is quite high that you come across our aircraft quite soon. So we are open sky certified. That means our airline is very flexible and very agile in terms of getting access to several hubs around the world, connecting basically all supply chains and not limited on certain routes. We are also not yet a commercial operator which is providing fixed routes only. So right now we are operating on a TOC basis. That means our aircrafts are flying all around the world on all continents, providing solutions for project cargo mainly. However, this is something that because we are that flexible, we can adapt to the situation in both on the economic side as well as market influences or customer requirements. You can see we are not only operating the 747 on the freighter side on cargo only, we're also operating the 757 and the A330 for passengers, but later on some more details about that. First of all, this is our backbone of the fleet, the 747. We have 6 of them on converted freighter at the moment. All of them are stationed in the US, flying around the world, and can take a capacity up to 108 tons gross. That means about 104 tons net. We can see we have a lower deck and a main deck, and especially the main deck options are something that we are trying to promote in the area here in order to give companies the access to also ship bulky, oversized and hazardous materials. We have 39 pallet positions, 9 in the lower deck and 30 in the main deck. So the capacity and the flexibility of the aircraft is unique. So this is a very much special aircraft, especially dedicated to transport special products. And since we know that in this area also special products are quite important, as well as in Eastern Europe is a growing market, we want to give you access to these options. We have also recently added 2 more aircrafts, which are even more special and dedicated to cargo operations. So we are owning 2 of the nose loading aircrafts, both also factory freighter. For those who don't know, the difference between BCF is a Boeing converted freighter and a factory freighter is that the factory freighter is a purpose-built freighter and not a converted freighter from passenger to cargo. That means we can load even heavier cargo, even longer cargo through the nose, and as well we can have more range with the ERF edition with the long-range tanks. So we can fly longer routes without tech stop. In this particular case, you can see that very long pieces can be loaded through the nose, and also that the capacity with the payload is higher than on the regular BCF. And as well, the range is also significantly higher than with the BCFs. On the passenger side, this is still a growing market for us as well. So we are operating a 757, which is mainly used in the domestic travel, and a A330, which we use on international routes as well. These aircrafts are also used from the US military to transport troops and personnel around the world. But we are also entertaining some special projects there, for example, on the aid and relief sector. So during the Corona times, we did repatriation flights from embassies and brought back embassy personnel that has been stranded in difficult regions. Talking about the difficult regions, usually national is always one of the first that is willing to go to crisis areas to support people in need, and as well to provide access for aid and relief organizations for both cargo and passengers. So, for example, during Ebola times, we also served the Ebola region with strategic airlift for doctors, as well as for NGO personnel. So this is something that is very much interesting. On the commercial side, we are transporting sport teams, football, basketball, ice hockey, but also tourists, for example, from the United States to Argentina when they want to go on an Antarctic voyage. So all of these things are a little bit outside of the box, and we are serving them with our passenger flights. On the defense logistics, this is our main business. So for more than 30 years, and at the moment, still 50% of our business is related to defense and military. And right now, again, we have the theater right next to our door. That's why we have also a special focus on providing solutions to companies and organizations and authorities that are in need of transporting both cargo and personnel related to conflict zones, to war efforts, as well as to provide special solutions also on the freight forwarding side. So we have gone through all the major places like Iraq, Afghanistan, also in Africa. We have been active, and now, as I already briefly shared, we did about 250 flights last year, supporting the US government to Poland and with encourage to Ukraine. This is also something that is quite interesting because especially Rzeszów here is on a strategic position, so important for the situation in Ukraine that all the cargo is basically routed through Rzeszów in and out. That means for us, Rzeszów is a special place where we are dedicated to provide a very special solution, and not only providing the US military, but also various other entities around the world. Through the coverage of NATO, we are also serving the Australians, the Canadians, the British, the Dutch, or the German forces. For sure, not everyone is in need of transporting it from overseas, but we are also providing these solutions from intra-Europe to Ukraine on our multimodal solutions through our Frankfurt office. So we are very well aware, very well trained, and also this is something that mostly we speak the same language as our clients and partners in the military. So we share the same mindset and the same capabilities in order to get access to their base, as well as delivering up to the forward front lines. Also, the aid and relief sector is very much important for us, not only nowadays as Ukraine people are in great need of supplies like generators, like clothing, or also medicines. So throughout the years, we have managed to provide many solutions outside of the box to all people in challenging areas, as well as struggling from either natural disasters or global pandemics.
for sure, global pandemics, everyone is thinking of Corona. So we are also in great effort at the time to provide capacity for masks, for gloves, for also pharma shipments, so for the vaccinations. Right now, for example, this is the best timing to share the story that Lori also provided a solution for an NGO, giving them access to our aircraft. As of now, we are arriving next time on Sunday here in Rzeszów, not only with military cargo, but also with a part load of NGO material that we have supporting the NGO, not only with the airlift capacity, but also with the pickup in the US, with the customs clearance here in transit customs clearance here in Poland, as well as the direct delivery to various places in Ukraine, such as hospitals or temporary warehouses. So for us, it's not only a business providing these solutions, but this is also something that comes from heart, because we understand the struggle of the people and also want to support wherever we can and whenever we can provide these solutions to support the people in need. Next slide, please. On the freight forwarding side, and especially also all in all, we are very active in various verticals. So since we are not comparable to the global operators, which are focusing on the gateway solutions as well as on the e-commerce side, we are trying to focus on niche sectors. For example, critical automotive parts, we ship them all around the world whenever there is a production problem, whenever there is a supply problem. We also are very active in the aero and the space sector, not only in the air freight, but also on the multimodal solutions. So we are transporting satellites, launch equipment like rockets, and also to very special places like French Guiana. To Brussels, we lately did a rocket, also to Norway. So you can see that a lot of these customers are trusting us with their most sensitive, with their most valuable cargos. In the pharma side, we are GDP and CIV certified. So we are experts in providing solutions for temperature controlled cargo, both on the active or on the passive side. We can also consult together with the customer, what is the best solution, what is the best routing to minimize risk in terms of damage, transit times, or points of handling. In the energy and oil and gas sector, we usually provide services to remote locations, like in Africa or in the Middle East or in South America. So wherever is a little bit challenging, and when I'm with customers sitting on a one-to-one and they ask me, hey, what is different between you and another forwarder we might use, I always try to make a very simple example. So for us, it is our mission, it is our task to find the most professional solution in challenging areas. So, for example, it's not difficult to find a trucker in Nigeria, but we always try to show the customer that it is difficult to find a good trucker in these special places. And this is our task, this is our mission, that we have built up a network of either in-house people, colleagues, or of trustable agents, especially in regions where it's difficult to ship to door, where it's difficult to provide professional solutions. And that is also an example for the energy, oil and gas sector, because these customers usually need to ship a little bit outside of the common places. In the event and project sector, we are quite active and happy that after the Corona lockdown and the challenging times are now again a little bit picking up. So people are again going to concerts, sport events are now starting again, and that all requires also in time and professional solutions.
For example, we transport Formula One cars all over the world, where there is the highest pressure in terms of delivery time and also quality aspects. And on the public side, we are also we are contracted by public authorities, for example, embassies, to provide solutions on a diplomatic level. Coming now a little bit to our vision and our idea here in Rzeszów. So for us, it's important that we want to share with you today our idea of becoming a trusted partner in the Eastern Europe air freight market and connect the supply chains of various industries with each other. So that is our idea, which today we want to share with you and also understand what we need to do to make that happen and also to understand your requirements on a day-to-day business. Going a little bit more into detail, what we have planned, how we can realize that from step to step, is taking RZE Rzeszów as a center of gravity and try to circle around like an area where main deck capacity and also access to strategic airlifts are quite limited. For now, we all know there are various options from Western Europe and Central Europe, but in Eastern Europe, there is still not that much activity in that sector. So we want to actively place ourselves right in the middle of it. And as you can see, the red circle is not only covering the Polish market, but also entering to Ukraine territory, the Baltics, and Eastern Europe, places like Romania, Slovakia, and also Austria. So actually, everything that can be tracked within a 1 or 2 days notice is something that is interesting for us. Also, for sure, we can track even longer distances, but since we want to be dedicated to the Eastern Europe, and also we need to watch the timeline, that is something we want to start first within the red circle. RZE Airport will play that role as a strategic point for us, since we are arriving here with either military or aid and relief cargo. We will try to sell back that capacity directly to the US. For sure, whenever you are in need of value-added services like packaging, customs clearance, consulting, or other questions, we will be available for any answer. We know that Eastern Europe, and especially the Polish market, is quite active on the trade lane between Europe and the US. So as a US carrier, this for us comes quite in handy to provide these solutions to North America. We have identified JFK and Chicago as a first idea, but this is still very flexible, so we can also provide solutions for Atlanta or other places. If we arrive there, it's not that we take care only on the airport side. We can also provide solutions with RFS services or even to door deliveries, whatever is required from your side. On the operational level, the setup would look like that we have a 5 to 7 days pre-notice to alert the upcoming flights. Luckily, we already have an existing program starting from this Sunday onwards with regular flights from the US going to Rzeszów. So you will all receive quite soon the opportunity to make some sort of first tries, and this is also something we want to discuss with you later on one-to-one level. There are flights coming in, and we can start that immediately, bring a little bit on the ball on the idea and see how this will develop. For sure, the cargo ready for carriage. We will the flight to the US We will complete the mission either with arriving or with delivery to the customer. Especially happy we are with our friends from LOT that we have already been in discussion for a while to share that idea way ahead of being here nowadays. So we will support each other on a strategic level to also give the opportunity for LOT Cargo to provide options on our aircraft for main deck. We will also have the confidence to have the main player here in Poland as a partner. We know that LOT is a very important partner for us, so we are very happy that we share a common interest in this idea. As an airport, for sure, we are trying to concentrate on Rzeszów since the aircrafts are arriving here. We are also trying to partner up with the GSA in order to help us to develop and bring the footprint here into that region more and more. This will all come in the future, based also on the talks and the activities we have here in the event today. In case everything runs smoothly, we also have an idea and opportunities to increase our portfolio for our customers in the region, not only by providing solutions to the US, but also providing solutions, for example, to Middle East or to Asia. We can also think about bringing the aircraft in round-trip basis, additionally to the existing military or aid and relief flights we are doing at the moment, or we can contract, or we can place the aircraft on a regular basis on a fixed schedule here. This is all something that is still to be discussed. So we want to also be honest with you that this is not something that will happen from today or tomorrow. So we will start doing it after the conference and based on the feedbacks we have, and try to develop it step by step. So for us, it's important to start walking and then start running. So far, that's our idea of sharing more of the insights from our side with you, ladies and gentlemen, to provide strategic capacity and access to main deck capacity in the Eastern Europe market. So I thank you all for your attention, and I'm very much looking forward to the discussions. Would there be any questions right now? Please feel free to ask. Otherwise, we will be happy to answer them later in the event. For now, I would say, if there are no questions.
Sorry to jump in. If there are no questions, there will be time during the networking part for the questions. For our friends from the US and in Germany, I would like to just focus on a few advantages of the city of Rzeszów, of how we cooperate with companies. Okay, thank you. Okay, so what you can see is an aircraft engine, and this is the DNA of the region. Around 180 companies in the aviation industry. 90% of the whole production of aviation comes from Rzeszów and the sub-region of Rzeszów, and this is number one business that you should try to cooperate with. We are very strong also in automotive, with American Borg-Warner being the biggest company in automotive industry here in the city. You said in your presentation, Tobias, about the radius that you will take. So the radius would cover Poland, part of Slovakia, Ukraine, and also Germany. And it is very important to stress the fact that Rzeszów Airport will be able to serve all these countries, because we are already serving most of them with passenger movement. And what is very important, the European Union has already agreed to build the part of the motorway from the Polish-Ukrainian border to Lviv.
So this will be finished with the European Union money. And this, after the war, will mean that the whole movement from the east will go through Rzeszów. So you can see the routes that we are operating from Rzeszów Airport right now. What we're missing here, but it will be in May operational. So this will be Germany. So the airport is one of the fastest developing airports in this part of Europe, which means they will be able to handle air cargo movement from here. And the vicinity of the border with Ukraine and Slovakia will mean that the companies can use the airport and come easily to Rzeszów. What is very important is the A4 motorway, which goes from east to west of the country. So we will be attractive to Polish and not only Polish cities. Of course, Ukraine is of importance in terms of cargo and in terms of cargo which is connected with rebuilding the country. We are already a huge hub that the mayor said that we are the center of the world because of the military presence, because of the military cargo, but we will also be focusing on the rebuilding process, and the hubs that will be created here will be operated from the Rzeszów Airport. Okay, and one more thing to stress out about our cooperation with companies. The fact that there is such a huge number of companies here in the city at this conference right now results from our very close cooperation. I will just skip some slides. Our very close cooperation with companies. And you can see just several companies that are operating in Rzeszów and in the sub-region of Rzeszów. We have the representatives of ME Aero, we have the representatives of TW Metals, of other companies from different branches, and we are very closely cooperating with them. The mayor constructed what's called the Economic Council. This is a group of over 100 companies that advise him on the economic policies. And this means that we are in constant contact with the CEOs of these companies. We can forward your offer, even if they are not here today, we can forward your offer to them and try to promote the whole idea of cooperation. So this is just to add to what has already been said. Now will be the time for networking part. Over coffee, we'll be able to do business simply. Okay. Łukasz, tak? Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, I will introduce our national team today.
To jest ten team, z którym można dzisiaj rozmawiać. Dziękuję. Ja mam nadzieję, że to jest z którym zawsze się powiedzieliśmy, tam jeszcze ściślejsza współpraca. Za to Państwo bardzo serdecznie zapraszamy do zadawania w składzie, który widzicie. W środku jest też polsko-języczny Łukasz Sikora, dla tych z Państwa, którzy bywali także po polsku. Jest też pan szef, który okazało się także samym pochodzą z Buffalo, który jest naszym miastem partnerskim w Stanach Zjednoczonych. Dziękujemy bardzo. Jesteśmy do Państwa dyspozycji. Tak, Kamilu?
Jesteśmy do Państwa dyspozycji zarówno... Tak? Jest pytanie, tak? Proszę bardzo.
So we can take a place, take a seat and...
First, to rescue one second. My name is Victoria. Sorry, I'm Ukraine. Thank you so much. I want to ask Sylvia, thank you for the support. The first of all, citizens, so I was aviation advisor to the chief of the administration of the Kharkiv region. So, Sylvia, thank you so much for your support. And I have a question, but it will be after on the programs. Thank you so much.
Okay. Zatem zapraszamy Państwa, jeśli ktoś chciałby jeszcze zabrać głosu tutaj ze środka, to prosimy bardzo. Śmiało. Jesteśmy w swoim gronie.
Jeśli nie ma pytań na forum, to zapraszamy Państwa teraz na przyjęcie przedstawiciela naszego, jak i cały zespół, który zajmuje się usługą inwestora i przedsiębiorców, jest do Państwa dyspozycji przez cały dzisiejszy dzień.
Także mamy dla Państwa przestrzeń do spotkania, do podyskutowania przy kawie. Także ulica cała jest do Waszej dyspozycji z kawiarniami, restauracjami, także śmiało. Dziękuję ślicznie. Thank you so much. Yeah, of course. Thank you very much everyone for coming. Just one thing, yeah, this I was today that Buffalo, where we're from, the Google converted in the US. It's the sister city of your country, so of your city. So both cities are very much related, and this one here, your grandparents are from this area as well. So welcome home to Lori. So thank you very much. Right, so first of all, thank you very much for coming, and I'm also representing a family-owned business, so this is even more making me proud that the family-owned businesses are coming to Poland. Business has also 30 years experience on Polish market, and five companies are coming to us, to Poland, to Rzeszów as well, looking at the presentation. We, as a family-owned business from Central Poland, we are also interested in Rzeszów. So definitely, with pleasure, I would like to take a chat with you, Mr. Mayor, and definitely, I'm very happy to be participant of this conference. Thank you. Thank you. Szanowni Państwo, zatem się nieco bardziej, może jednak ktoś chciałby jeszcze zabrać głos. Okay, so możemy rozmawiać. Yeah, let's go. Exactly. Thank you, dziękuję. Czas jest dla Was.
Zależy na tym, żebyś ty z nimi choć chwilę po prostu, a ja potem przejdę.